Alcohol in the wine is invisible, yet it can change the warmth, weight, and the soul of the wine. So today, let's see what alcohol actually does through a painting. So in the starting only, let me just explain little bit about this painting so that you can follow what I'm about to explain about the alcohol in the wine in relation to this painting. So look at this swirl, a single drop falling, then twisting, then exploding into the wine glass. That's alcohol in the wine. Invisible, yet powerful enough to shape everything that you taste in the wine. Now before we get too philosophical, let's start with the simple truth. So alcohol in the wine is born during the fermentation process. Yeast eats up the sugar and it converts it into alcohol, heat and carbon dioxide. That's it. Not too complicated. So nature's smallest worker is turning sunlight into the energy. The smallest worker, yeast. Or as I like to think of it as grapes going through their rebellious teenage phase. In wine, alcohol level mostly depends on how much sugar the grape carries when they are harvested. It means more sugar, higher alcohol. Less sugar, lower alcohol. So what controls the sugar? It's the sun, climate and the ripeness. So alcohol is really the fingerprint where the wine comes from. In cooler places, grapes struggle to ripen fully. They accumulate less sugar, which means lower alcohol wines. Think crisp German Riesling or a light Vino Verde. So these wines usually sit around 8 to 11% of alcohol. They feel light, refreshing and almost like watercolor. And they love food that are equally fresh, like sushi, salads, and seafood. Even the spicy food, because lower alcohol won't amplify the heat. And now we talk about the high alcohol and the chili together. And that's not a pairing, that's a duel. Now we talk about the medium alcohol in the wine, and that's the sweet spot. So most classic wine regions sit right in the middle. Moderate climate, balanced ripeness, and that usually gives wine around 12.5 to 14% of alcohol. This is the sweet spot for many traditional wines. Think Bordeaux, Rioja, Chianti. So alcohol here contributes something very important. Body. The wine feels fuller, rounder, and more structured. Not heavy, just confident. These wines pair beautifully with the dishes that have little structure. Herb roasted chicken, mushroom risotto, and grilled eggplant, and so on. Because alcohol adds texture, and texture loves the company. Now let's talk about the dramatic ones. Warm climate means the grapes accumulate a lot of sugar. More sugar means yeast produces more alcohol. And suddenly you have the wines that are around 14.5 to 16%. Big, powerful, and sometimes almost luxurious in texture. And these wines feel fuller and warmer in finish. Not because they are stronger in spirit, but because ethanol literally creates the warming sensation. And these wines, they demand the richer food, like steak, lamb, and aged cheese. Because protein and fat help soften the alcohol intensity. Think of it as giving a powerful wine something to lean on. Now here is the part sommeliers care about. Alcohol is evaluated as low, medium or high. We assess it through body, warmth on the finish, and overall balance. For say, high alcohol without enough fruit, it feels hot. Low alcohol without enough acidity, it feels thin. But when alcohol is balanced, it becomes the backbone of the wine. So now is the perfect time that you all will understand and relate to this painting in a much better way. So the drop above is sugar. The swirling ribbon is the fermentation. And the explosion at the bottom, that is the alcohol revealing itself. Not as something you see, but as something you feel. Warmth, texture, weight, presence. Alcohol isn't the hero of the wine, it is the gravity that holds everything together. Too little, the wine floats away. Too much, it falls apart. But when the alcohol is balanced in the wine feels alive. And that, my friends, is when the wine stops being a chemistry and it becomes a poetry. So the alcohol in the wine isn't really just about the strength. It is about the balance. Like too little, the wine feels fragile. Too much, the wine feels heavy. But when it's just right, the wine feels alive.